All right, for you guys that are watching, I just got done with that house wash earlier, and my pump was running non-stop down there, so you could see the clear line. That's why I like this line, because you can see the flow. You can see bubbles coming through it the whole time, and it's just not good. I mean, you know, if it's bubbling like that, then you have an air leak somewhere. And the only fitting that I have on this is of course, this is glued, so it's solid, and then there's a fitting underneath it that clamps on to this fitting. Excuse me. And of course, I have clamps here. You know, if it's bubbling from here, that's your problem. All those were clear down there. All the clamps were tight. So the only fitting I had that would be an issue was from where this went into the cap, which wasn't a problem, but where it come out into the coupler. And I didn't think that it would need any kind of, you know, true blue or Teflon tape or anything on these plastic fittings. I like to use true blue. So what I was having a problem with earlier is all I'm doing here, I have all this set up, running through my soft wash hose, and then just running back into the tank. So I have this on. What I was having an issue with earlier today is, cut that off, pump cut off. That's how it's supposed to do. Earlier I had tons of bubbles and the pump wouldn't cut off. So if you have a 12 volt and you're running it and it just keeps running and running and running, or you have a drop off in power, check that out, because this is how it should work. You turn it on, you hear it vibrating down there, it's running, the flow is like it should be, the strength is like it should be, okay? So then you go, okay, well, I'm done with it. You cut it off, pressure switch hits, pump kicked off that quick. So if that's not happening, then, and you got plenty of fluid in there, and your drop stick isn't being messed with before. Now, I've had a time when the pressure went off, this drop stick was sticking to the side, not that one, but the other one I had, it was sticking to the side of the 55-gallon bucket, or 55-gallon drum, and it was just sucking and not pulling anything. So wish I would have got this. I didn't have time to check it because it snowed, and then yesterday it was still pretty nasty out. It would have made my job today a whole lot easier, but you know, it is what it is. I got it home and fixed. So anyway, running the 12 volt, turn it on, you got the flow you need, cut it off, pressure switch cuts off. So that's what we got today. The way I'm gonna clean this out, flush this pump, is I have this cut off here, cut that off, open this back up. Now what's gonna happen now is it's gonna flow and pull everything out of the hose. It'll leave that little bit in there, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. Get it flushed out, flush it with water. What's up, guys? Another quick update on the you know, I've showed you how the downstream is going to come out. I've showed you how I got this wire plumbed in to run through the pump. And so what's going to happen when we fill this up with water is I got a fitting here. Then I got this one, which is 3/4 to 1/2 inch, and that's going to go on just like this. And then this will thread onto the end of my water hose, and I'll be able to clamp it on without having to drop a tube down in there, or drop the water hose down in there every time I need to fill the water up. So all I have to do is right here where I'm standing, undo this, because I'll just leave that hooked up every chance I get. Keep dirt and debris from being in it. Unhook that. Hook this up to my water hose, turn it on, and then fill it up. So I had to rethink this section here. If you've seen any earlier videos, I had a little short tube and a cutoff. Well, when I cut the cutoff off, I wanted to be able to unhook this and drop it in water and rinse everything out, but that's not the case, because when you cut that shut-off valve off, it shuts the pressure from pulling. So I'm going to end up putting a T somehow on this and clamping it off and running an extra one over here with the shut-off. That way I can drop it in, because I'm trying to get to where I don't have to pull anything out of that tank to fill it up, to do anything. So that's what we got going on right now. And all right, for you guys want to see the finished product, this is what is going to hook up to my water feed. I'll be able to put this on any garden hose that has the 3/4 threads. The original plan was to take this is a 3/4, this is a 1/2 inch, and bam, easy, 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 right? Well, for whatever reason, this fitting will not fit that fitting, the 1/2 inch. The 3/4 fits. I can put any 1/2 inch barb, or I can put any 1/2 inch threaded fitting I have in there and it works. I can put this in any 1/2 inch female gun shut off valve fitting and it works, but for whatever reason this will not fit into that. So I just have a 1/2 inch to a 3/4 fitting that goes into a 3/4 threaded coupler. So like I said, I'll hook that onto the water hose each time, and then I'll cam lock it on and be good to go. Alright guys, so you seen in the other video that to hook my cam lock up to for my water, I said you put this on, because I have a cam lock 1/2 inch to 3/4 threads. This is 3/4 and this is 3/4. I had tested this on one, and I guess I should have tightened it all the way down, because this would not fit. And if you don't know, I didn't, so I'll let you guys know that a water hose is 3/4, but it is what is it, garden hose thread, so it's GHT, 3/4 GHT, so that means 3/4 inch garden hose thread. This won't fit. So finally I got what I needed. Now if you look for a 3/4 thread, they make them like this. They make them with it's the adapter, so it's 1/2 inch MPT threads here, and then 3/4 on this side garden hose thread, and that fits. So anyway, I got a 1/2 inch here to 3/4 barb or fitting, and then this is 3/4 to 3/4, and then this will go on to my water hose. So finally, I'm trying to simplify things, make things more simple for myself, and it seems like every time I do that, I'm running into issues. And I know it'll pay off in the end, but dang, don't it get frustrating. You try to get something taken care of to make it easier on you, and then bam, something screws up. So I know this is going to be fine. All that's ever going to be ran through this is water, so I'm not worried about this. And of course, you know, these are plastic, so basically fiberglass and plastic, and so they're good to go. So finally got this took care of for you guys that, you know, may want to run something similar. This is a 3/4 to 3/4, and it has a swivel end like a water hose, but that's how I'll be filling it up with water. I said thankfully something went right, because I get the pressure washer back the other day. Yeah, it's naked. I get the pressure washer back the other day, and they retapped the thread. He told me he was going to have him send me a whole new intake, and then he couldn't do that, so he retapped the thread, put a new thermal release valve on it. So I want to check my downstream injector to see how that's going to go. And one of my Suttner hoses blew. Now I've had this hose since last May or June, so it was time for it to blow, basically. So you know, I've had the 50-foot hoses, you know, are just about $25 cheaper than 100-foot, so I always get the 100-foot. it would be nice right now to know that this hose is screwed up. I could just take, you know, 150-foot section of it and replace it, and maybe the other section will last a little longer. I don't know. I would almost guarantee that sitting out in the weather all year and then over the winter, the water in it freezing, thawing out, play a part of that too. So I was trying to find the hole. It was pretty big when I had the water on. Luckily I didn't. All I was doing was just dry testing it. I wouldn't. Here it is. Wasn't trying to put any pressure on it. There it is. So as you can see, that's pretty rusted. It sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I told you guys when I did the other video that you could see the pits in it, and when you see those pits, it isn't going to take much to mess it up. Luckily it didn't blow on a job, so now I got to order 200-foot hose. So the hose I have now, it's 200-foot. The hose I have now is this 50-foot junk that came with the pressure washer. And I say junk, but it's the hose that I have right now. So definitely got a pressure tech order coming up that I gotta order. I need some fittings. I need some fittings. I've tried to get them locally, but I really can't. And you know, I told you guys that I was going to put a T back here in this line for me to fill up. You know, have my hose ran from up the tank and it comes down there, and then I got it cam locked in. And I did have a ball valve here to cut it off, and that didn't work like I wanted it to. So I was going to put a T here and put a hose off to the side and put a ball valve here and a ball valve here, and that just seemed like too much to deal with. So what I'm going to end up doing is buying a 3-way valve with just one knob, and it'll go right in here, and then I'll have a hose coming off of it, polybraid hose coming off of it. And when I need to flush the tank, what I'll do is just shut that valve off up here, and then it'll start pulling from the other side. So that's just another fitting I was hoping I could get locally, which I kind of figured I couldn't. Our Royal King has some things, but they don't have much smaller stuff, not a bunch of 1/2 inch stuff. They have some 3/4, 1.5 inches and bigger, but not much 1/2 inch. So I got to order that. So it'll just have barbs on its inside. It'll fit in there and then come out to here, and I'll have a hose on it, and I'll just turn it when I want to flush the pump out. So got to get 100-foot more garden hose. We have a job coming up to where it's a huge driveway. It's 450 foot long, so on top of 200 foot of water hose and 250 foot of pressure hose, it's going to take like everything that we have just to get this took care of. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update of some of the things that I got going on. I've been a little aggravated because everything seems to want to mess up or not go right, and just it is what it is. One thing that I wasn't pleased with is this fitting here. I mean, golly, look how rusted that is. And I mean, it seems like it can only last for so long. The hose there and everything is fine. So I don't know. I doubt you can change this manifold out. I don't know. I know you can change the swivel, but I mean, I don't have to leave chemical in this. The only thing that stays in there is water. So we'll downstream through this, and once we finish downstreaming, you know, I'm rinsing last, and each time I'm rinsing, this is getting flushed out, but it's still pretty rusty. So the insides of it is pretty rusty. I mean, I'm really surprised by that, but it is just powder coated and metal. It isn't stainless. So I guess that's where that other $300 or $400 comes in at when you're going to buy hose reels. So anyway, that's my time for today. We'll see you.